is not debatable that Nigeria is passing through challenging times with the issues of insecurity, banditry, and other forms of criminalities, in addition to mutual distrust, suspicion, prejudice. As Nigeria prepares to commemorate its 61st independence, Nigerians say it has become imperative to turn our diversities into a great source of strength and a springboard to build a strong country that will be the envy of other nations. That's our focus on Panorama from Port Harcourt Network Center. I am Diva Barry Siedoma Weke. President Muhammadu Buhari is back in Abuja after a week-long official engagement in New York, United States. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president arrived in Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in the early hours of Sunday. He was received by the Minister of the FCT, Mohammed Musa Bello, Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, Director General Department of State Services, Yusuf Magaji Bichi, and other senior government officials. While in New York, President Buhari addressed world leaders at the 76th session of United Nations General Assembly. He also made presentations in various high-level meetings critical to global peace, unity, stability, and sustainable development, as well as met diplomats and heads of several United Nations bodies. Special advisor to President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, described the president's seventh outing at United Nations General Assembly as a worthwhile undertaking and successful.
I'll say at the multilateral level, very successful. At the bilateral level, equally successful. I think it's a trip that has been worth it. From every perspective, every angle we can look at it, it's been worth the while.
How you read his speech? What was appealing to you?
The fact that Nigeria's voice could be heard in international issues, very, very significant. If the whole world is speaking and Nigeria's voice is heard, very significant. From the feedbacks we have received, the world likes it, Nigerians love it, and the president has acquitted himself very well. That is the best stage in the world, and he has played very, very brilliantly there.
So when is the president resuming work fully?
Well, we're back home. There are some protocols that need to be observed. As soon as the protocols are accomplished, work starts.
For people of faith to remain constant and relentless, advocate of freedom of worship, respect for human rights, fairness, justice, and the rule of law has been stressed by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. This was during a night of award marking the 45 years of the existence of the Christian Association of Nigeria. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Lee Sharibu, and Alhaji Abubakar Abdullahi received recognition for their exemplary roles in defense of human rights.
In recognition of your invaluable contributions as an ideal Christian in the Nigerian political space and global level.
The setting is truly of sapphire, associated with dignity, loyalty, serenity, faith, wisdom, and purity, befitting great personalities who have been honored here at this Christian Association of Nigeria Award night. Among them is Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Secretary to Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, represented by his son, some serving and past governors, and some present and past National Assembly members.
Fairness, equity, and respect for the rights of others are fundamental to peace and security. We cannot talk about peace, we cannot talk about security without fairness and justice and compliance with the rule of law.
Strongly to remind the church of the need for unity.
The award is of 5 categories: governance, fathers of faith, global ecclesiastical achievers, business and professionals excellence award, and perhaps most touching is the spokesperson for the oppressed and special recognition award. late May Lafia, and Leah Shaibu, who is still under incarceration of Boko Haram, received this award. Can President Samson Ayokunle urges the award recipients to continue striving vigorously to build a more enduring name and legacy, and also speaks on some challenging issues facing the nation and says something drastic must be done quickly and urgently.
We salute the courage of our security forces and urge them not to rest on their awards until the entire nation is safe.
In Jesus' name.
In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NT News.
Patriotic, honest and tolerant behavior amongst the citizenry, as well as transparency and accountability on the part of the leaders, have been identified as the requisite attributes that must be upheld by all Nigerians to foster peaceful coexistence devoid of acrimony. Joy Uzo reports that a cross-section of Port Harcourt residents stated this as they hailed Nigeria at 6-1, while calling on Nigerians to shun all forms of divisive tendencies.
With a current population of over 200 million people, 3 major ethnic groups comprising Hausa, Igbo and Yoruba, many languages, cultures and traditions, as well as Christianity and Islam as major religions, Nigeria has since inception galvanized a way to maintaining a unified entity despite her diversity, a stride stakeholders attribute to a patriotic and sacrificial commitment of the nation's founding fathers, but regret that a lack of such commitment amongst many Nigerians many years down the line is posing a threat to national peace and stability.
At 61, Nigerians must stop anything that will divide us and promote what will unite us, because that's what parents do to their children.
The things that bring us together are more than the things that divide us. And the things that divide us are things we can sit down and discuss and come to terms with and find solutions that work for everyone.
All we need to do is to put our various religions aside and to see that people are created by one God and we live together like people of one family under one God. If we begin to live in that manner, there is going to be real peace.
Amid the many challenges bedeviling the nation, keen watchers say a change of mindset by the populace and deliberate and conscious efforts by all Nigerians, irrespective of political and social class, to do the right thing always will go a long way to rebrand the country, thereby fostering peace, unity, growth, and sustainable development.
Indeed, God instructs you, command you to do justice in whatever you are doing. So if you can uphold that, and in our national item is there, if you can uphold that justice, at least we will get there very soon.
And that is why I am having passion for this country when I see things going wrong. If I see people misbehaving, high unemployment, high cost of goods and services, I feel worried.
It's only when you're transparent and straightforward to the people you're leading, that's the only way we can have everlasting peace in our nation.
Going forward, they urged Nigerians to make wise decisions in electing their leaders, as this will assist in birthing more accountable leaders that will lead transparently and engender the needed change. In Port Harcourt, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
With me in the studio to discuss issues of building a united Nigeria is Dr. Ayibemi Ken Fashola. He is immediate past National Advisory Council's chairman, Global Peace Foundation. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Okay, sir. As I said, we're talking about building a united Nigeria. What are the issues that divide us as Nigerians?
Well, most particularly disunity. Corruption is there. Tribalism, pettiness. It's unfortunate. The whole fabric of the original Nigeria, the foundation of Nigeria that was built by our forefathers, has been eroded by so many things. Nigerians are more militant now than being citizens. In a democracy like ours today, we do not have democratic citizens. It's unfortunate.
Okay. So can you throw a bit light on these issues you know, apart from pettiness and all of the things you described here now?
Every Nigerian, well, once people want to come out for national issues, they face they're Nigerians. But behind their mind, behind them, they still believe that they're tribal, they're from a particular tribe. Why we do not disabuse that? But the mere fact is that they believe in the tribe more than they believe in Nigeria. Okay. And they pursue that tribe. They believe Nigeria cannot protect them. So they have to fall back on their tribes to protect them. Look at our national leaders. Look at our past presidents. A president of Nigeria will retire and go back home, and he becomes a tribal leader instead of still remaining a nationalistic leader or a national personality. But you see him fighting for zonal tribal interests. So you now ask yourself, where is the Nigeria you were talking about? Where is the Nigeria you were leading? Yeah. When we look at our leaders doing this, you now wonder why followers will copy same and start doing same. So it's an unfortunate situation, but it's something that we need to address, especially amongst leaders who are supposed to lead us aright, whom we voted into power, whom we put in power for them to come and help us. Now they're the ones going back, falling back on primordial sentiments, on tribal sentiments, on religious sentiments. This government has not, particularly this government has not exactly dealt with the issues on ground based on all the sentiments too. And those are the challenges. So Nigerians no longer trust their leadership. Okay. And once there's no trust for the leadership, then we will not have a nation that is built in unity anymore. Okay. And that's where we're facing challenges. So people are falling back, are resorting back to their own defenses instead of relying on the institutions that have been put in place to do their jobs.
So talking about addressing these issues, how do we address these issues to achieve a Nigeria where our diversity will become more unity?
Wow. Everybody must take responsibility. Okay. Each and every one of us. It's not just leadership that's at fault. Followership is also at fault too. Okay. We, the followers, encourage the leaders to do what they do. Because if we call them to order, if we stand by integrity, if we stand by what is right, they will not continue in the stance on which they are going. They will retrace their steps. But once followership continues to encourage them and applauds them in all the little nuisances that they do, they perform and the rest, and then you go to them for petty cash and all this rest, they feel empowered and they feel that they should carry on, that you are interested, you appreciate what they're doing. Followership, leadership, we all must take responsibility. If we want to change this nation, each and every one of us must take responsibility. It's not a question of asking for my own country or asking for your own country, or saying we want an Oduduwa state, or we want
Biafra state,
we want a Biafra republic, we want an Arewa republic. No matter which republic you think you're going to, as long as you do not take responsibility to live under the rules and guidance of what a nation should be, as long as you do not take responsibility to do what is right, as long as you do not have integrity, as long as you do not build a nation where peace and justice shall reign, and equity too, no country, no Biafra, no Oduduwa Republic, no Arewa Republic, no Niger Delta Republic will ever succeed. It will still come back to the same point where we are now, because these whole republics are made up of the same individuals. They're made up of you and me. They're made up of you and I. And if you do not change yourself, if you do not take responsibility for what we're doing now, the level of militancy that Nigerians are performing amongst themselves, against themselves, it is terrible. We must, Nigeria 61, we're not kids anymore. We're parents, and we should know that if as parents, we cannot tutor our children to do the right thing. We cannot even tell ourselves and look in the mirror and tell ourselves, oh, what I'm doing is not right. Retrospectively, introspectively, we cannot search ourselves and say, oh no, what I did to my child yesterday wasn't right. Son, come. I'm sorry. What I did yesterday wasn't right. I misguided you. In error. This is the right way to follow. This is the right way to follow. We must go back and know how we do things and do things right.
So that means even our families are all part of this, not just
for Nigeria to be
the
great,
government.
It starts from the family. For Nigeria to be great, it starts from you. It starts from the individual. You must be great by yourself. You must have integrity as an individual. You must have responsibility as an individual. You must own your own actions. Take responsibility for yourself as an individual. For you to now be able to carry that out yourself, come into your family, and within your family, you build that integrity, you build that responsibility, you build that reputation. Once you build that within your family, you now take that out of your family. You take it to the micro society, before you go out to the macro society, before you even go to the churches, before you go to the mosque. Our faith leaders, our community leaders all have responsibilities.
That brings me to our next question. What role should institutions and citizens at various tiers of government play in making Nigeria to remain a strong and united country?
Almost all the institutions in this country have failed us. All the institutions, whether religious, the churches have failed us. The mosques have failed us. The traditional rulers have failed us. The traditional native doctors have failed us.
So why do you say so?
If you go to the churches tomorrow or today, what is their main priority? Money. It's not about soul winning anymore. If you go to the mosque today, what is their priority? Everybody is looking for money. Okay, how about our traditional religion? Why shouldn't Amadioha? Why shouldn't Ogun? Why shouldn't all these traditional deities? What have they done to defend integrity and to defend honesty? Have they really done anything? Prior to this time, they will tell you, no, this is what you're doing is not right. Yes. But now they will say, okay, go and bring this sacrifice, go and bring this, or go and bring this money, go and bring this cowries, go and bring this gold, go and bring this. We'll do what we'll change it for you. Even though they will first of all tell you what is right. Yes. But they will now turn around and say, but if you want us to make a change. And the desperation in Nigerians today, everybody wants to be rich. It's all about pecuniary gains. Where will it take you to? Check out all our politicians who are multi-millionaires, who made money, who stole money. Where does the money take them to? Reflect back or look back, research into it and find out people who stole billions. Where are they? Most of the time, they end up not spending these billions on themselves. They spend it on treating themselves. You'll find out that by the time people steal such amount of money, they fall sick. You find out they start rushing to hospitals, start going abroad for treatment, start going here and there, running helter and skelter, looking for how to take care of themselves. Meanwhile, their resources are being expended. But between you and me, where we live within our little resources, God has a responsibility. God owns up to his responsibility of taking care of us, of giving you peace. No matter how little, he gives you grace, he gives you peace. But these people will keep searching, going abroad for treatment, going here and there for this, and yet they still don't have the peace.
Okay. So how do they contribute? What is the role they now play? How do they bring about, outside what you just said now?
Let them change.
Okay.
We all need to search ourselves and change. We need to live up to our responsibility. We need to be our brother's keeper.
Okay.
You cannot take what is meant for the community, what is meant for the communal good, what is meant for the nation, and take it to yourself. You cannot...
So finally, what's your parting shot? What's your advice to us all as Nigerians, both youths and...
61, we need a pan-united nation. We need to have a united Nigeria, where all of us, where integrity must reign, where reputation, where peace, where justice, where equity will reign. We need to control how we communicate with ourselves. We need to have effective communication, whereby we relate with one another in love and in unity and in equity. Justice is paramount. If there is no justice, it will be difficult for us to get a united Nigeria. If there is no equity, it will be difficult for us to get a united Nigeria, because people will continue to feel aggrieved and they will be pained by the situations they see on ground, and they will worry a lot and they will challenge the situation.
Thank you, Dr. Fashola. Throwing more light on building a united Nigeria. I will take a short break now, and when we return, Panorama continues. Stay tuned.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Welcome back. Latest on COVID-19. On the 25th of September 2021, 210 new cases of COVID-19 were recorded in Nigeria. Till date, 204,201 cases have been confirmed, 192,421 cases discharged, and 2,673 deaths have been recorded. The 201 new cases are reported from 13 states, and they include Lagos 79, Edo 20, Anambra 19, Rivers 18, Ondo 15, Gombe 14, Oyo 13, Kaduna 11, Ekiti 8, Delta 6, FCT 5, Bayelsa and Kano recorded 1 case each. Increase in urban flooding experienced this year in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, is a consequence of indiscriminate land reclamation and blockage of natural waterways, capable of destroying long-standing infrastructure in the city. This is as experts advocate for a legislation to protect flood-prone areas from developers in Port Harcourt. Robinson Derataide has the details.
Rivers State is among states affected by flooding since 2012. But urban flooding has been minimal due to drainage connections in Port Harcourt. While the sea level is increasing gradually in the coastal areas, urban flooding has rendered many Port Harcourt residents homeless in the last few weeks of the rains. Peter Odili Road, Azikwe Road by Spa, and NTA Choba Road are among the worst hit areas. Experts attribute the increasing volume of urban flooding in Port Harcourt metropolis to land reclamation and blockage of waterways, noting the need for clearing and expansion of the drainages for free flow of water.
You don't have these shallow gutters in a place like Port Harcourt, where you have heavy downpour. So the government need to implement Port Harcourt master plan.
If Spa beside government house was flooded, you cannot beat your chest and say the government house was not flooded. So we hope that things will be done right. We hope that we as individuals will stop throwing our waste into the drainage channels.
It's for government to carry out enforcement, take measures to enforce land use zoning and building codes and other regulations like waste management that can help to reduce the impact of the flooding.
Not less than 6 local council areas, including the Orashi region, are suffering from coastal flooding, with consequences on farming activities and educational system.
Those who live along the coast, along the coastal line, they should begin to move up to higher grounds because the sea is rising, the ice are melting, and as the ice are melting, more water, volume of water is generated. IDP camps must be constructed, well equipped.
We expect the federal government this time around to do real something. We want them to attend to the needs of our people. We don't want to lose anyone this year.
With the committee set up by the Rivers State government to address this year's flood challenges, it is hopeful that the effect will be minimal on flood victims in the state. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Derataide, NTA News.
For sports updates, over to Clement of Lorotoba.
It was a resounding victory for Nigeria's women's under-20 in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup qualifier against the Central African Republic. Expectedly, the Nigeria girls took charge of the game from the blast of the whistle and was able to score 4 goals in the first half of the game. Falconets rounded off the match with 7 unreplied goals. The return leg will be in a fortnight in Nigeria.
This time around, the preparation and the focus and the foresight is to go beyond whatever was done before to make sure that we stamp our name in the annals of football.
Meanwhile, women's FIBA Afrobasket defending champions, the Tigresses, will later on Sunday take on Mali in the final of the 2021 Afrobasket Championship in Yaoundé, Cameroon. The Tigresses discarded the 2019 runners-up Senegal 73-63 in the semi-final to set up Sunday's clash with Mali, who triumphed 52-51 over Cameroon. The Tigresses will want to build on their successes in the championship, having won it in 2003, 2005, 2017, and 2019. The final will be a repeat of the group stage encounter between the two sides, which the Tigresses won 81-73.
It's Panorama from NTA Port Harcourt Network Center. Remember to join NTA to stand up against rape and rapists. Thank you for watching.